information, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. So I'm going to start with this one. This is called So right off the bat, this cover I just love. Like, it's very simple, but it's very fun. It's a small book, but it's very fun to just have on the shelf. I don't even know where I got this. It might have been from a family member. It might have been from a thrift store. I'm not really sure. But this is what it sounds like. It's a book of gardens. And let me center this a little. Page is a little bit glossy. It's published in 2000. Garden Book is a comprehensive illustrated survey of 500 of the world's most influential garden makers. So it's a book about gardens, and just flip through a few pages here. This would be a fun book. You know, all of these books that I'm going to show you would definitely be fun to like flip through the entire thing. But just for now, I'm just going to show you a little bit, and maybe this is the Blandy family, and then there's a little reading about the garden. There is just so many beautiful photos in here, and it's just a really nice book to flip through, like on a rainy day, you know. Some of it is like blueprints, and sometimes you have the full garden. I know the lighting isn't great, but yeah, very fun, very vivid, lots of colors. Wow, I love this one. The sunken garden at the old vicarage is part of a recently built arts and crafts garden. The owners began their garden in the late 1980s and have energetically expanded it ever since. Very colorful. So it's just really fun to flip through. I don't know if you can hear the wind outside, but it's been really windy lately, and I live on the 3rd floor, so the wind really howls. This one is that a pool? That's fun. I don't know if I'd consider that a garden, but it's fun for sure. Wow, misty, gorgeous. Structure in Grisadale Forest is a snaking serpentine wall. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a wall here that just goes like this. Wow, that's gorgeous. From natural materials. The serpentine section weaves like a sidewinder rattlesnake through the larches and firs for around 137 meters or 150 yards. Wow. Very fun. So, you know, if you are interested in going through more of this book, it's pretty long. It's got a lot of pages in it. I don't know how many exactly. definitely take a while to go through it all, but I'm interested in diving into it more. So, yeah, this is the garden book. The next book I'm going to show is a new one that I got. It is the National Audubon Society Field Guide to North American Trees in the Eastern region. It's this beautiful leather-bound book. It's quite slender, but if you look at like comparison, garden book is very short and squat. This one's taller, but it's very slender. So that's fine. These pages are very thin. It's not tissue paper, but it's very thin. So just thumbing through it requires a really gentle hand. Now I love the beginning part because there are so many beautiful images and diagrams. Look at this, we got leaf shapes. This is really great. I have another book that just goes, it's a tree field guide, but it just uses the leaves pretty much. So you take a leaf and then you're able to find it with that guide. But this book goes into more detail. There you go. Very distinctive leaf. Sycamores, oaks is also very distinct. I love trees. Just looking at them, drawing them, and just looking around. It's just all the conifers. So beautiful, these pictures. Just even not even going into the field guide part. It's just gorgeous to see. Wow, I love this cedar. I feel like I'm not centered. So yeah, even just flipping through and tracing these leaves could be a fun video to do. Although some will be harder to trace than others. But wow, slippery elm. Gorgeous. I love how it shows the bark as well. Been listening to this audiobook, or I already finished the book, but called The Secret Life of Trees. I highly recommend it. But it talks about how the bark of a tree is like its skin, it's protecting the inner layer, and it's really cool to look at it and think of, everything that this tree's been through, all the memories the tree has. Wow. But just seeing the difference in the bark. There's so many differences in trees. It's a gorgeous book. But I like that as a field guide, it's great that it shows the bark, the leaves as well, because they don't always show the bark and then you're like confused. Compound leaves. Oh, this is a poison sumac. Wow. This just takes your breath away. Oh my gosh. This is just funny to me because my partner, he's into making his own paint, and so he goes out and collects these things from the trees, and it actually turns turns into pigment once you kind of cook it and grind it up and all this. But it's pretty cool. It makes like a brown, black pigment. Same with these berries. They make color, some of them. And there was this one day, I don't know, but he's probably gonna laugh at me for mentioning this, but bay leaves actually make pigment, so he cooked like 100 bay leaves in a pot, and basically cast us out of our apartment, so that was fun, but that's still so funny to me. Maples are just incredible. So anyway, that's the picture part. I think I already showed that page, and then you go into the actual list of all the trees, and for each tree it'll show you, the profile, the habitat, the description. So for example, this is a blackjack oak, and the description is tree with open irregular crown, so the crown is the top part, of crooked spreading branches, and its height is usually 20 to 50 feet, or 6 to 15 meters, diameter 6 to 12 inches, leaves 2.5 to 5 inches, and they're slightly triangular or broadly obovate, I don't know that word, broadest near tip, with 3 shallow, broad, bristle-tipped lobes, gradually narrowed to rounded base, slightly thickened. And it tells you what the bark is like, it tells you what the acorns are like. That's helpful as well. And it lives in dry, sandy, and clay soils and upland ridges and slopes with other oaks and with pines. So slowly adore this book, and highly recommend it. Each of these books could be a video, but I just thought I would go through a little overview of each of them. So here's our last smaller book. This is a little red book. It's if you want to compare the size, it's thicker than the other one, so it's nearing the size of more of a standard shape. And it's got this beautiful binding. It's an older book. It's called Gli Orologi, which means clocks. Apologies for any outdoor sounds. It is Saturday, so I just started a new job recently, which is why I haven't, continued posting. Haven't really had time, so I'm trying to get back into it. But it's been hard, so. But I just start small with books that I already have. I also haven't been able to read a lot. But I am reading a book right now called Time and Again by Jack Finney. And yeah, so that'll be probably one of the books I talk about in my next reading video. Alright, so let's get into this book. Now, I know for a fact I got this at a thrift store. There's this really big used bookstore in Maryland that I love. It's like a warehouse full of books, and I always find really cool stuff there. But this is one I found years ago, and it's 1966 by Fratelli Fabri Editori. Now, this book is in Italian, and I have studied Italian, but quite a bit. I wouldn't call myself fluent. Like speaking is probably the hardest for me as well, and I haven't really had a chance to speak it in a while since college. But this book is just beautiful, and it's not hard to understand. It's and wow, so this must have been an early kind of clock that they used. Wow. But this book is just really interesting. I think I'll do maybe another video on it, reading some of it. But let's see if I can find any fun pictures. Wow. Orologio appesi, which means like a clock with weights on it. That's really cool. Wow. Sfera armillare. Questa sfera armillare è di mano italiana. La larga fascia è quella dello zodiaco. Negli anelli, the rings, vi sono delle iscrizioni in latino. La figura venne fusa da uno scultore veneziano. So they don't know exactly who did it, but there was a sculptor who did this part. And this might have been added to it later. It's not entirely clear, but Rinascimento, fantasia di orologi. Wow, I just love the images in this book. It's so fun to flip through. Orologio notturno. Milano collezione del and maybe wow. Dopo la scoperta del pendolo si tentò con ogni mezzo di trovare altri modi per conoscere l'ora e naturalmente si seguirono spesso vie bizzarre e raramente anche quelle buone. So they're finding new ways of learning the time. So this is wow, unbelievable. A book kind of about the history of clocks as much as it is just showing you pictures of clocks and stuff. So it's really fun. Lots of fun pictures in it. This is a Japanese clock. And this is a Chinese. Svelia, Svelia means wake up. I wonder if it's an alarm clock or something. That's crazy. Wow, this is a Persian clock. It's fun learning about, these mundane subjects or something that you know nothing about, and just seeing all this stuff. It's like, wow, Yeah, why do we never have clocks in our furniture anymore? Alright, I will stop. I'm interested in this book. Alright, so the next book I want to go over, kind of similar. It's called Reinventing the Wheel by Jessica Elfand. This is also, I think, from a used bookstore. Put it in the center here. This is a very niche book with just circular types of, there's calculators, there's graphs, there's calendars, there's charts, wheels, toys. I mean, I think this person was just really fascinated with wheels and thought they would do a collection of, different ways in which they were used throughout history. So this is the history part that I wanted to flip to. The part where it actually goes into. So this is what I love. So she compiles all of these different, and they're very well printed. Like this is so clear. But this, for example, is an Art Deco horoscope wheel. This lively horoscope wheel from 1932 provides information, entertainment, and pleasure, and is used for bridge or other card parties, party favors, and gifts. So 12 signs of the zodiac are shown on one side, with famous people born under each sign displayed on the other. Also offered are tips on enhancing one's understanding of love and marriage. So very fun. There's another one. Speed math, disc of knowledge. Wow. So this kind of just tells you turn notch disc and tells you how registers within round opening here. Place finger and notch pointing to number to be added and move downwards to 0 on outer disc. Huh. This is really cool. It would be cool to actually have this contraption nearby. So we could actually try a deductograph. Aids employees in determining their tax deductions. Now we need something like this now because that can be confusing, right? Profitometer. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's so great. Wow. It's just so cool. More calculators. This is on different breeds for farmers raising horses, hogs, sheep, or goats. Wow. Recipe chart, kitchenette wheel. These are from the 1930s, so they're in order. What your corn can do to help win the war. Wow. Physical fitness, signaling, Morse code. This book has so many things. Grammatic. It doesn't seem that it is in order. Geography. More geography. It's so fun that people make books like this. I mean, it's just so cool. Okay, now we get to the toys, the Mystic Wheel of Knowledge spelling game. Baseball statistics wheel. That's so cool. 1960, Ernie Banks and Mickey Mantle held the home run records for their leagues. This premium from Coca-Cola consists of 3 independently movable discs. Showing all of this and more, one side shows statistics for the American League, National League stats on the reverse, covering the years 1901 through 1960, including batting and pitching information. All-Star Games, World Series attendance, no-hit and no-run games, stolen bases, and MVPs. Wheels are, of course, implicitly dynamic. They represent precision on one hand, yet suggest an infinite kind of permutation on the other. They embody at once a balanced symmetry, yet simultaneously embrace endless possibilities for imbalance, irregularity, and a kind of irreverent compositional frenzy, a mad art attempting the inconceivable. The visual language of wheels endures as a universal symbolic code representing not only the heavenly bodies but possessing, even in these modern times, a remarkable capacity to communicate a kind of instant civilization. This is some art with wheels, I think. Or no, these are, yeah, abstract artists. There's so many beautiful images in this book. It's fun to flip through. It's fun to learn about history and about innovation. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful book. Alright. I have 2 more books left to show you. This next one is not all pictures, but it's called 99 Variations on a Proof by Philip Harding. This is one of my favorite books. As a math enthusiast, I really recommend having it for other math enthusiasts. And it's, the title says it well. It's just one proof, but the author writes it in all of these different ways that just show you how diverse math can be and how diverse mathematical thinking is. So, this is a recent book, I believe. 2019, very recent. And it's really fun. So you start with, so here's the preface. I'm going to skip that. It does say here, my motivation for this project from beginning to end has been to try to conceptualize mathematics as a literary or aesthetic medium. There's no shortage of evidence that professional mathematicians describe their work in aesthetic terms, but the terms they use, at least publicly, are very limited. The oft-repeated beauty and elegance may be important components of mathematical taste, but they fail to convey its range or subtlety, or how it relates to literary and aesthetic experiences beyond mathematics. The 99, or if you admit an omitted proof the same status as the others, 100. Proofs serve to highlight the material differences in logic, diction, imagery, and even typesetting that give tone and flavor to mathematics. I hope that readers with little or no predisposition to the subject matter will begin to perceive these stylistic differences by merely paging through examples, stopping to look more closely at proofs that reflect or offend their sensibility and moving lightheartedly forward from any that do not. The reader inclined to delve deeper might recognize that the book itself is a mathematical game. In any case, if mathematics is made more vivid as a result of it passing through the reader's hands, this book will have served its intended purpose. So, we start out with an omitted proof. If you've ever studied math, you'd be very familiar with these. Proof is left as exercise. So, it's a very kind of basic theorem. If x cubed minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6 is equal to 2x minus 2, then x equals 1 or x equals 4. So you're basically just, factoring this. If you learned about this in high school, it's a factoring problem. But it's more than that. This book is going into, what mathematicians really do and what higher math is about. But here we go. The first proof is omitted, but then we go into, there's a one-liner. There's the factoring way. But this doesn't really tell you why, It's a two-column proof. There's an illustrated proof. And I really like the reading for this one. So as you can see, here's the cubic graphed here. And the 2 points of intersection of the cubic and the line occur at 1, 0 and 4, 6. Okay, so it's like a visual representation of why that would be true. But then here he begs the question, this example of proof by inspection wouldn't qualify as proof according to most mathematicians' standards. How can we be sure that the curves really do meet under those two spots? What's going on outside the region plotted? But, however, these are effective tools for discovering and communicating mathematics. And math is really about truth. How can you prove beyond a doubt that something is true? So I just want to go through a few of these. Prerequisite. Model. Wow, I cannot make head nor tail of this right now. But they do have an explanation on the next page. And it gets silly too. This is a medieval one. Suppose that the intensity of a quality is as the cube of its extension and 9 times that, less 6 times its square. Analytic. Let f from the real numbers to the real numbers of function denote the function's value at x is the difference of the left and right sides of this equation. Define a element of the real numbers to be the subset of the domain of f that maps to strictly negative real numbers a, where x is a function of x less than 0. Observe that a is a non-empty and bounded subset of the reals. For example, 0 is an element of a since f of 0 is equal to negative 4, and 10 is an upper bound of a since f of 10 is 486. According to the completeness axiom of real numbers, there exists a real number c that is the least upper bound of a, such that c is equal to the supremum of a. Oh my gosh, this brings back memories. This is part of a mathematical field called real analysis. And I remember doing proofs just like this one. screenplay. Oh my gosh, see, mathematicians have a sense of humor. But this is just such a fun book, and I highly recommend having it. Just the geometric one. It's fun to flip through. Chromatic. Oh my gosh. Wow. The score represents each side of the equation by a violin. Wow. This is just an incredible book. It really makes you